Welcome to a tasting. I usually do these in a table that's out back next to my garage, but the lighting right now is horrendous. The sun's in bad spots. Here I am in the garage. The lighting is wonderful, just glowing all over me. Doing a dunkel tasting, a proper dunkel tasting, an authentic dunkel. I'll screenshot the recipe right now instead of going through it. I ran across this article from brewcouser.com. So on brew day, I pulled off some wort from this beer, made a starter with it, with some fresh yeast. Then when the dunkel was like 10, 14, right before terminal gravity, transferred to a keg, added the fresh wort starter into it. I mistimed it a little bit though. I think I made the starter a little too late. So I did freeze it for about 48 hours before using it. I think I should have made the starter closer to like 72 hours, maybe even a little bit longer. So it was like at high Krausen when I added it. But at the end of the day, it still dropped to like 1010 when I took a final gravity reading on it. But the reason why I did it this way is because, the 6 different ways in the article, one even was just lagering. Just don't even worry about diacetyl arrest. Just get it, do your 50 degrees Fahrenheit, transferred over, bottle, and let any diacetyl just clean up over the course of months. One of the best things about that, he said the diacetyl arrest isn't necessarily even needed if the yeast had a healthy fermentation. If it's sluggish, then you might want to do one. Where we in America always just do one. I mean, it can't hurt, right? I put the carbonation on it about 5 days ago, after 3 weeks. So let's get right to it. One of the reasons why I did a dunkel in particular was because I got a 21 in a homebrew competition, and that was not good enough for me. So I'm like, I want to do it right. Let me revamp all this. I did change the recipe a little bit. So we'll see if this one's better. I didn't have a bottle to open it, unfortunately, after the results came in to compare what their off flavors were, but there were a lot of them. So the color's pretty spot on. It's pretty clear on my end. No diacetyl. I never got this above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I just let the fresh yeast clean up, or the fresh starter I made clean up any possible off flavors. Smells clean, actually a little chocolatey. A little more I think I'd want it to be, a little more roast. I wish there was a little more malt breadiness coming through. And it's there a little bit, but it's more toasty than it is bready. But other than that, it's pretty clean. The bitterness is at 26 IBUs. I think that was a little too much. It's pretty bitter. Or it could just be more that roasty, burnt flavor coming through more than I want. My Carafa 3 was 3%, and I put Melanoid in at 5%, and Cherry Munich was 6%. So maybe there was a little too high on some of those, but I mean, Carafa 3 at 3% is pretty good, and Carafa 3 is debittered, so it shouldn't have that like astringent bitterness to it. But it almost has like a porter to it, or like a brown porter sort of taste to it. But man, it is clean. It is nothing wrong with this at all. I mean, I could enter this in maybe a couple categories in future competition, just see how it's scored at. It's smooth, has a nice crisp, bitter finish to it. Again, probably not quite right for style, but I love it. It's really, really nice. I used Perlay hops. That was a change I made. I don't know that I would do Perlay again. I think I want more traditional, like Tettnang or Saaz or like one of those maybe. But yeah, hey, the experiment was not necessarily to make the best dunkel, but it was to really see what the off flavors, if there's any off flavors created, and how clean I could get it without the diacetyl arrest, following proper German brewing techniques. Because the way I did it was mimicking how the brewers do it in Germany. They'll take their fresh wort that's fermenting from a different beer and put it in there. I think they're like 6 Plato or 4 Plato away from their finishing gravity, and then just let that lager clean up with the fresh yeast for like a month. That's their lagering phase. So happy with the results. Get out there and try something like this. It's really fun, and I think it's a good way to lager if you can. It's about as authentic as it possibly can get. Stay tuned for more videos. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button. There's a bell down there you can hit if you want. See you next time. Keep getting weird. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.